Hello, yes, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV, and unfortunately the time has come to take the remaining 16 from the boat park and put it into some winter storage. So I'm just gonna go through how I'm gonna get the boat on the trailer, get the mast down, that kind of thing, single-handed. The first thing you'll notice is that, yes, the boat is pointing the wrong way. I'm doing it like this because I feel this is going to make it easier to get the mast down. All right, so we're on the trolley. Just going to wheel the boat as far as I can onto the trailer. I think that is looking like the spot. Making sure, of course, the boat is fairly straight. All right, now going to pick the boat up, and there shouldn't be too much resistance on the trailer because there's not a lot of surface area that the boat is on there. Nearly to the back. All right, let's just go a little bit more. Giving it the sidey kind of winkling it on. Okay, and now I'll just make sure it is in the middle. I'm just going to line up the Dolphin Striker with the mast support. Okay, and I'm just going to bring the boat back far enough, but I'm going to be leaving the rudders on. So what I don't want to happen is for the rudders to hit the car if we're going round a sharp corner. But I think if the rudders don't come further forwards than the mast crutch, then we should be looking all right. So I'm just coming back a little bit more. All right, that is looking pretty good. I think what's a good idea here, first controversial point, is before dropping the mast, I'm going to tie the boat onto the trailer for a bit more stability. All right, so I'm just going to doing this with rope. Of course, everybody has got their own method of how they like to do this sort of thing, but I'm not going far. If I was going a long way, I'd put something in between the rope and the hull to stop any rubbing, but I'm not going far, so I'm not going to worry about that on this journey. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just put a loop in the rope so we can get just a bit of purchase on there. I'm just going to tie a simple loop into the rope. And then I can take that back up to the loop, and that means we can crank it on nice and tight. There we go. That's just the sound of the rope against the gel coat. It's not hurting it, it's just squeaking. All right. Cool. So then we're going to do the same at the front of the boat. All right, so I'm going to be using the mast hinge just to make sure that the mast foot doesn't jump out. All right, this is going to be the tricky bit. I'm getting the mast hinge in. We've been here before. Do check out the drop in the mast using the mast hinge video. Okay, so I'm actually just going to have to lift the bottom of the mast up a little bit to get him in there. There we go. Yeah, so just lifting a little bit of weight off the bottom of the mast there, just to get that in there. Okay, so now I've actually tied the main halyard to the downhaul to get a bit of extra length, and I'm going to use the main halyard to hold the mast up while we're getting in position ready for the drop. Okay, so I'm going to pull the main halyard, so that's pulling the mast all the way forwards. That's now going through the shackle where the bridle wires hold together. I'm just going to pull that tight there. I think maybe when we did this before, we might have used the jib halyard to get the purchase there to help. I'm actually using the jib cleat there to hold the main halyard, so that's going to be easy to release when I'm ready to drop the mast. So now I'm going to release the forestay and then off we go. Forestay is released. Now this is the time when you might feel a little bit of pressure just because the mast's only being held up by the main halyard. Okay, so I'm climbing on board. And then I'm going to take a good sturdy position holding the mast up. I can now lean down, I'm going to release the main halyard, and that's kind of like full commitment we're on. Just checking the mast hinge one more time. Okay, and then the reason why we're dropping the mast this way round is because it's going to go straight onto the mast crutch. This is very handy because it gives us a bit of height. Okay, releasing the main halyard. Right, the mast's now all on me, so now I can start to bring that down. The further back I put my feet, the more leverage I have, until of course I get to the back beam and then there's not really much further to go. There it is, it's on the mast hinge now, and there she goes, she's on the crutch. What I'll do now is take the mast pin out, and so I can bring the mast forwards a little bit so that it's not sticking out quite as much. I'm going to leave the main halyard where it was in the cleat, so then that'll be really handy for putting the mast up the next time. All right, but I've got to just take out the mast hinge, make sure I don't lose that, and now I could just slide the mast this way on the crutch. I could pull the main halyard as we go. That's just going to keep the bridle wires from hitting the floor as we drive along. I'm going to come so that the mast's about level with the bows of the boat there. Nice. Okay, so I think we're doing pretty well here. All that is left to do now is to tie the mast on, secure the rudders, secure the rigging, and then we're good to hit the freeway. Woohoo! Okay, so I've just got a bit of padding to put under the mast so that it doesn't rub on the front beam. Okay, so we've done the back of the mast. Can now just do the front part of the mast on the crutch. Of course, many of you have done this a lot more times than I have, but this is more for the people who've never done this and are just looking for a bit of a method. This method is specifically kind of for speed. If you don't want to have to re-rig your whole boat when you come to put the mast up, like if you like to leave the boat at your house and your house is like a 2-minute drive from the slipway, then I'd say this would be a pretty good method because all of the rigging is still attached. I'll do another video on going from this state to putting the mast back up, and we could actually set the timer running to see how long it takes to put the mast back up. I don't think it's going to be that long. Okay, so here's the trick shot. I'm now thinking on my feet, what am I going to do with the rigging? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll gather up everything. So I've got 2 trapeze wires from each side. I should have the forestay somewhere as well. In fact, I'll pull it all from the top rather than the bottom, because that makes more sense. And then I'll bring it back as far as the trampoline. Then I think we should just be able to make a bit of a loop. And here, in fact, I'm going to tuck it under the tiller extension. Maybe I've got enough of an end of the trampoline lacing to tie it up. Nice. Okay, so I'm just going to do a full wrap round. In fact, I'll tie a clove hitch on there just to hold it all together, and then I'll tie it on to the trampoline lacing. If you were going to be going a larger distance, you'd probably want to do something a little bit more significant, like maybe use some tape or something, just to make sure that there's not going to be anything flapping around, because obviously this is going to be flapping around a bit. Maybe even just to tape that to the mast like here would do it. But as I said, we're only going a short distance, so it's not so necessary. What is necessary is going to be securing the rudders. So what I am going to do, a piece of rope, going to tie a bowline in the end. Because what we don't want to happen is the rudders to drop down while we're underway. So to stop that from happening, we're just going to actually use a bit of pressure on the rudder system just to hold them in position. So just like that. And that's going to hold them straight as well. So now I'm just going to put a bit of a knot in there. Lovely. Of course, you could use things that are far more elegant than this, like if you had some good bungee straps or something, or just straps, that would do it a lot nicer and a lot quicker than this method, where I'm just using scraps of rope which I've found around the place. Okay, so I'm just going to take the end of the rope and do this on the other side as well, of course. Okay, so there we are, rudders are secure. And then just before hitting the road, just do a lap of the boat, making sure that there's nothing that's going to cause you difficulties. Like for me, probably this pole sticking out the side should be removed before I go. So I'm just going to take that off. And then I think we're good to go. So there we are. Thanks very much for watching. I hope this has been in some way either entertaining or useful, or even both. at a push. There'll be more coming up soon on Joyrider TV. So if you're not yet subscribed, now's a great time to subscribe. There are a lot of videos in the archives, which are a lot of tutorial videos on boat maintenance, the preparation, putting your boat together, how to sail the boat, tacking, jibing, trapezing, a lot on capsizing and righting techniques. In fact, there's over 400 videos on Joyrider TV about catamaran sailing, so get involved. There's a complete list of all the videos that I've made, and there's an index that I've put together which is linked in the description below, so have a look there. If you'd like to support Joyrider TV, then there's details of how you can do that in the description below, but the most common would either be through Patreon or by visiting the totaljoyrider.com online store and getting yourself a sweet t-shirt or a hoodie or something else great for Christmas shopping, and get stuck in there. So thanks very much, and I'll see you soon with some more.